Are you ready for part two, Sid?
Yes, let's go.
All right, let's go. So, welcome back, everyone, to our second episode of Worldwide Marketer, a podcast that seeks to spark authentic and meaningful conversations with marketers from all over the world. Today, we'll be having Sid to continue on his journey of running his own performance marketing agency in India. Well, since our last conversation, Sid, you have talked about your journey as running e-com brand. So, what made you decide to make the transition from e-com to agency?
Okay, so that's an interesting one. It has a very common story, I would say, because a lot of people sail in the same boat as me. So during the pandemic, when the whole world was in lockdown, I, of course, came around a digital marketing webinar, like a lot of people. I went through that and I discovered affiliate marketing through that. So that is something that really caught my eye. I tried affiliate marketing. I started affiliate marketing. So I was, selling our products through JVZoo, ClickBanks, and all these Max Bounty and other marketplaces. So affiliate marketing was something that got me actually into the space of digital marketing. And from therein, I discovered Google ads, Facebook ads, programmatic ads, running ads on volume. That is something that I started to do. And then once the lockdown was lifted, I started to run the ads on my own brand as well. And to my surprise, it turned out to be very good. And the results were amazing. So I started sharing those results on my LinkedIn profile, on my social media handles. And that's how I started to get a lot of clients. And then I started to work on their brand and then started to share their stories, their case studies on my handles. And that's how it's like the snowball effect that started to happen, and a lot of clients started to roll in. It's been a good journey. That's where I built the team. That's where I started, getting in more clients. I started outreaching to people. That's how everything happened. And today, yes, we're a team of around 10 people, and we have around 25 to 30 clients in our kitty. Most of them are DTC clients, and it's been a good journey. It's been a very worthwhile journey, and I think lockdown was something that really pushed me to get on this path.
Right. That's interesting to hear that you first started off as a affiliate marketer and you discovered in digital marketing, and then you're like, and you just share your results and people say, can you help me out? Sure, why not? And then just kind of expand from there.
Correct. Yeah.
I'm just wanted to know more about affiliate marketing. How does it really work in India as well? Like, do you think it's very different than the Western side? If so, how?
It is because, so firstly, I think whenever you reach out, so I think it's easier for us to get onto ClickBank and JVZoo and all these portals because it's for the masses. I have had my account banned on ClickBank a couple of times. So that is something that has happened. And I wasn't doing anything shady, still had that happen. And so if I talk about all these other, affiliate networks, they don't really, they're not really comfortable with Asians coming on board as affiliate marketers. So I'm not sure how. I mean, if people know, you have to get approved for a lot of offers. You have to get approved to be within the network to grab the offers and to promote that. So these network has to approve you first, so that you can get the offer and then put out to the market and then get leads and the conversions and everything. So that is what something people have to do, and a lot of times Asians, Southeast Asians, they're not approved for these offers because maybe companies see them as a very spammy, or it's in somewhere in the gray area dealing with these guys.
Right. Because still new.
Because that's something. And then black hat is something which was very common, which is very commonly done by maybe Asians or something. I don't know, but that is something, that is a notion of it. So that's what I experienced there. But then I had a YouTube channel as well, through which I used to promote a lot of products. I got a lot of sales, and then eventually I ventured into Facebook ads and Google ads. And then, affiliate marketing is something which is to be done from a very holistic approach. You cannot have just one channel promoting an offer. You have to be present on all the channels. There has to be native ads. You have to be there on Facebook ads. You have to be there on Google ads. Facebook is not at all comfortable with affiliate offers. So
Oh,
I have had 4 account bans in a space of a month on Facebook. So
oh,
it comes with its
damn.
own headaches, affiliate marketing. It's not very easy to do, but once you're able to crack it, I think there's nothing better than that. With the passive income you can come in. I think I stopped affiliate marketing in 2021. I still have, offers paying me because of the repeat purchases and, the recurring fee that they pay. So let's say I was selling something that is on a subscription basis. So I get
Yeah.
paid on every month due to that. So if you're able to crack that, nothing like that. Affiliate marketing is the way to go, but then it comes with its own, drawbacks
Problems.
as well. Yes.
Right. And just for those that are really confused and not too sure what affiliate marketing is, so for Siddhant, perhaps you could give a brief explanation. How does it actually work and how do you guys actually get paid and all that?
Yes. So affiliate marketing is something like you are being affiliated to a brand. So let's say I am selling, let's say a watch, right? I'm
Yep.
selling a watch, and you are an affiliate. So you are an affiliate. You take my watch
Yep.
and you sell it to somebody else. So you are an affiliate in this. Okay. You run an ad on my product, my watches. You sell it. So if I sell it for, let's say, $100, I give you $50 out of that. You know. So that is what affiliate
Right.
marketing is. Affiliate marketing is selling someone else's products to the market and getting a commission out of that. So
Right.
there are different offers. There are weight loss offers. There are relationship offers. There are money offers that you see. There are softwares that you can sell. So a lot of these things are there that you can sell. I mean, there are millions of products in the market that you can try out with affiliate marketing.
Right. So for affiliate marketing, for this case is you help them promote the product and then you get paid on a certain commission basis.
Yes.
It could be money, it could be cash or uh, other alternative ways.
Mm-hmm.
And for this case, is it where you take it and you run your own ads, like
Yeah.
Google ads, Facebook ads, to promote it to others as if you are owning the brand? Is that right?
Yes.
As a brand owner?
Uh, no, you don't have to be the brand owner for that. So let's say I take a product, I go to an affiliate network, I go to a website, I tell them I want to sell your product. They approve me for it, right? A
Yep.
lot of brands give their own assets. So they'll be giving you the landing page, they'll be giving you the creatives, they'll be giving you the banners that you can put out on the landing page. You build out a
Right.
landing page, you run ads on that. If you get the
Yep.
conversions, all the conversions are tracked back by the affiliate network, and then they give out a commission for you.
Right.
So
That
you
is
don't
very interesting.
actually have to invest in the product. You don't actually have to own the product. Everything is being provided by the partners. You just have to sell it, basically. You just have to run ads on that, promote that, be it in an organic way or through ads, anything you want. So, I mean, that's your option, but then you just have to sell it and then you get a commission for that.
Oh, that's very interesting as well. Personally, I'm very new.
Mm-hmm.
I only heard about affiliate marketing once or twice. I'm wondering would be like apps such as the Honey,
Yeah.
like those automatic discount coupons. Are they affiliate marketing as well?
Yes, they are.
Right.
You're right. So every product that gives you out a coupon, I think every brand or product that you're talking about, like Honey, they are affiliated with these brands in some way.
Hmm.
So they
Right.
get a
So
commission out of every click. So there are different things like there are CPL marketing, CPA marketing, sales marketing that we can say. So CPL is cost per lead. So you just have to get a lead and then you get a commission on that. So you get a commission on clicks as well for some offers. So it depends on the offers, on the product, what they're talking about. If the brand wants you to fill out a certain form, then they give you out a payout. So there are
right.
certain aspects, certain goals for the brands, whatever they deem fit, and then the payout according to that. So it doesn't always have to be a sale; it can be anything else.
Okay, that's very interesting as well. I think that's something I want to build on. That is a topic I like to touch on is attribution,
Mm-hmm.
because in post iOS optimization, I believe most of the tracking is all completely
Yeah,
redundant, almost redundant, especially to iOS users.
yeah.
So I think I will save it for the question I'll pose
Mm-hmm.
for you is what sort of attribution challenges has affiliate marketer faced when it comes to post iOS optimization?
So affiliate marketing, I haven't been doing post the iOS thing. So I moved into the
Yeah,
agency business. But I can tell you about the attribution problems that we faced and how that is being tackled. You know, post the
yeah, that'd
iOS
be
era.
great.
Yeah.
Let's let,
So,
let's 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 say for the agency side, how do you guys
mhm,
tackle it?
yeah. Okay. So let's say UTMs are very important initially. So
Yep.
you have to have UTMs in your URLs so that you're able to track whatever is happening. So you can have different tools for that. People are using Triple Whale. Some people are using the simple Google Analytics. So that's what we use as well. Analytics is something that helps a lot in terms of attribution. And then also, if you have installed conversion API from Facebook and you're just not relying on the pixel part, I think that is solving a lot of problems now. So it isn't the
Mm.
same what it used to be 6 months back. I mean, we will be getting attribution somewhere, and then if you're having the points coming from the server side, not from the pixel side, you know, because the
Right.
problem is with the pixel. So the pixel is not able to give back the data to Facebook, but the server can. So if your Shopify, let's say your Shopify is connected to Facebook, right? So that means
Yep.
conversion API is there, right? So it's a server to server thing that is happening. So there is not a lot of, I mean, it's people are talking about it like a lot, but it's not really a big problem now, especially in the last 5 to 6 months now. I mean, the attribution loss is there, but then if you can, collate the information from your conversion API, from your Shopify website, from your Google Analytics, I think you have a pretty good idea of what is working and what is not working. So a lot of people just focus on Facebook ads, which is not the
Right.
right way. So we work with Facebook ads, we work with Shopify, we work with the Google Analytics as well. We collate the data together and then we understand, okay, this is the ad that is working well. It is common in all the points, conversion API, Shopify, as well as Facebook, as well as Google Analytics. And,
Yep.
this is the ad which is not working in the other parts. So it is just not one point of interest for us. There are 3 points of interest for us. So that gives us a better idea.
Right. So it's more like finding commonalities to say that of the ad to say, okay, if that ad appears multiple times and then it leads to sale,
Yeah.
that means probably it works well
Because,
compared to the other
yes.
one that just appeared one time.
Right, because it is being attributed by 3 different channels now. So it is, I'm sure this must be working. This is being attributed by
Right.
one channel. I'm not too sure if it's working or not. So we are able to close that gap down by including UTMs, by integrating with the API, conversion API, everything. So the gap has reduced as it was maybe initially in the first 4 or 5 months of iOS. So a lot of
Right.
clients, if you would have heard, had a major dip in the October-November period of 2021. That is when it really kicked in, you know.
Yeah, it's really tough, right? Like
Yeah,
a
it
lot
really
of
got tough.
trackings, like
Yeah.
you thought you got zero, actually have a few. It was not as bad as you think, but you just gotta tell customers to prepare for the worst.
Yes, but the people who know how it works, they're able to close it down. Uh, I mean, I'm pretty sure conversion API does a lot of heavy lifting for you. You're not just dependent on the pixel part that was there earlier. So I think it's not a big problem per se now.
Right, right, yeah. Because I do hear that in marketing space, a lot of people were telling the clients like, oh, our attribution is not correct. So when we do have any sales, don't really blame it on us. And I was like, really? you
which
know?
is which is true, but then again, if you're just relying on one platform to get all your answers, you're at the wrong place.
Correct.
With all the insights that you have, with all the tools that you have, I think even if we don't have a 100% accurate answer, we already have an 80 to 90% accurate answer to that.
Right. So normally would you expect like to attribute less, like 20%? Would you say that's a benchmark that you guys are using, or
Yeah,
is it lower than that?
correct. Yeah, 20% is on a safer side. So it could be 25, it could be 15 as well. But that is on a safer side that we've seen. So let's say Facebook is showing us 6 purchases, but in reality we've got maybe 7 or 5 purchases. So that's something that we work around with.
Right. So it's giving client like the margin of error to expect to say,
Yeah.
okay, Facebook shows that, but that does not necessarily translate that we got that amount. So don't panic if we got
No, in
we
the
didn't get a
end,
lot.
I think every goal, I mean, the goal of every brand should be to consider the profitability.
Yep.
If the blended ROAS, if the total sales are coming into a piece together with the ad spend that you're doing, I think it all makes sense. Because so let me tell you an example. So there's
Yep.
this client of ours who is having amazing sales through Google Ads, and no attribution was being shown in the Facebook ads for them. I recently wrote a post as well on LinkedIn with the same thing. And this happened in September, right? When we saw that nothing was being attributed to Facebook, we stopped those ads.
Okay.
Everything on Facebook was stopped, and their
Mhm.
ROAS or sales on Google also dipped because of that.
Oh, is it by significantly or
Yeah,
is it
significantly.
enough?
No,
Oh,
significantly. And then when we started the Facebook ads again, it took maybe a week or so, but it came back to the normal place again. Because every channel is contributing to you in some way. You know,
right.
maybe we are
You
running,
just don't know.
maybe we're running retargeting ads on Google because we're running a lot of stuff on Google, right? Maybe it was a retargeting ads that are working well, and the retargeting audience that was coming in was coming through the Facebook pool. You know, people were seeing ads on Facebook, they were coming on the website, not purchasing, but being retargeted by Google and then converting. So every cog is very important together. you know of course there are instances where the organic sales are very high, and sometimes the ads are actually not contributing at all, but there are also a lot of cases where the numbers don't seem to match up, and we don't see a lot of significance of the particular platform, but they are actually contributing in the backend.
Right. I mean, it is very common as well for Facebook since Facebook is more, I think it goes back to the fundamental concept as well. Like it's push versus pull.
Hmm.
Facebook is push,
Yeah,
Google is pull.
cool. Yeah,
And generally, following that logic, normally Google should get all of the credit because at the end, people will search there
yeah.
for that particular product. But where do they get the awareness from? Probably Facebook
Facebook.
or other
Correct,
platforms.
correct.
So that's where you kind of kick in the awareness and all that. So would you say it has been kind of underestimated significantly because of the iOS optimization? People are saying ditch Facebook, let's not do that, go all in Google Ads. Do you see
Correct.
that often?
Yes, that is the case, and that's why I came up with this example. And this was a very valid example that happened in real time with us. And
Right.
this is something which I always talk about now, and it is something which is not there in front of us, but then we always have to, respect the platform in a way.
Yep.
Because we've tried excluding that, it didn't work out very well for us. So we know we felt the brunt of it. So we know, every platform is contributing in some way or the other to us.
Right, that's true. I mean, maybe that's something that we need to take into account. Although this might be a bit advanced for those users that have never done marketing before, but this is something that has been a hot topic. Basically, people passing hot potatoes around and people blaming Google, like getting all the credit. They should move it there, but
Yeah,
technically,
but
it
then
is
again,
terribly involved.
the smart way is to take a blended ROAS. Like
Yep.
if you're spending $1,000 on Facebook, you're spending $1,500 on Google, you take $25 at your ad spend, and you take that against your sales. If the blended ROAS is great, I mean, great for you, good for you. You don't need to change anything then. I think that's the way to go. Of course, you can optimize things, but to absolutely exclude a platform is something that needs to be very carefully done, I would say.
Right. Excluding platform as in like not putting spend at all and just focus on like one or two specific channels. Is that correct?
Yeah, correct.
I see. In the world of marketing, especially in India, so would you say that Facebook and Facebook, Instagram, they were together, so kind of both that,
Yeah.
plus the Google would be the three main sort of giants that they must invest in, like
Absolutely.
given the current landscape?
Absolutely. So as you said, again, it depends on brand to brand. So
Yep.
let me give you an example about this as well. So there are certain clients of ours that we have who are marketplaces, who are
Oh, okay.
running websites that are having several brands, several well-known brands, right? For those people, Google does really well because, as you said, Google is pull.
Yep.
So people know about these brands. They're searching for them. They're searching for a particular skincare on Google, and then our products pop up, and then that's what helps in the sale. On the contrary, for the newer brands or the ones that have just been launched in the last 6 months or so, a lot of people don't know about that. We have to raise awareness about that. In that part, Facebook takes the front seat, Google takes a back seat. Because we have to make people aware about this product. Of course, Google is running, but it's maybe a 80-20 ratio for us. 80% goes into Facebook and Instagram, 20% goes into Google. Eventually, the gap starts to close in. So let's say for a great established brand, it's somewhere in between 50-50 or 60-40 ratio that we split. Initially, it's more of Facebook, and then Google takes, again, Google you have to do for retargeting or the brand awareness, because you wouldn't want somebody else to rank on your brand name on Google. That's a big no. So these basic things need to be done on Google. But other than that, I think with the PMAX coming up, the shopping campaigns coming up, Google is very smart. And we've seen great results with these automated campaigns coming up. Although we were not a big fan of these till last year. But I think they're doing amazingly well now. So it's something we should not count out. So Google should always be there. Again, like I said, you shouldn't exclude anything. But it would depend on where you are placed at a particular,
brand life, perhaps? Brand life cycle, perhaps?
Yes, brand cycle. Where are you at that point of time?
Right. And is there any up-and-coming sort of social media platforms that you would think it's a one to watch out or to consider investing in as well, given that there will be a lot of apps coming up?
So there are a lot of apps actually in India that are running, but in terms of advertisements, I don't think anybody can beat Facebook or Google for a long period of time.
If I recall, also TikTok was banned in India. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And so, is there any alternatives come up of that, or all of them just shifted to Instagram Reels and Facebook Reels for the time being?
A lot of platforms did come up after TikTok. I think they're still running, but then again, they are more about content creation. They're more about content consumption, not for promoting your products, not for running ads. So I think for running ads and to promote your product, if you're talking about numbers, people have shifted to Facebook, Google, Instagram. I think Instagram Reels has really taken up, and with the new placements coming up now, that Facebook I think has just launched yesterday. I think it's going to be, now you can also place your ads on profile feeds on Instagram. So that's a new thing that has just come up yesterday. So, I mean, they're capturing everything. People are seeing 4,000 to 5,000 ads in a day. So, I mean, there's no place that you want to miss out on these platforms. So, there's no other platform that can match that. I'm absolutely sure about that.
Right. That's fair enough. Yeah. I'm wondering for your case in India, like before and after the pandemic, the marketing landscape, do you think it has shifted significantly, or it's more or less the same, but it's more like the attribution is the main topic coming up?
See, personally, I don't think attribution is a problem. I think it's more about the creative strategy that has come in now.
Okay.
Initially, it used to be more about your campaign strategy. It used to be somewhere around 60% your campaign strategy, 20% is your creative, 20% is your execution. Now, from what I experience, from what I see from my fellow marketers in and around the world, 70% is creative strategy now. 20% is marketing strategy, 10% is execution now. So a lot of heavy lifting is being done by the creatives. What kind of creatives do you run? Within our agency also, we have set up certain frameworks that include 10 to 15 creatives for a single brand that needs to run at one point of time. Because that's how heavy we are reliant on the ads to run. Every creative will have a different angle. Every creative will have a specific dimensions, so it can run in every placement. So we have to cover that up, because a lot of people don't run dimension specific ads even now, which is a big red flag. A lot of people are just running let's say square ads, the 1080 by 1080 ads. So you have to cover up the whole assets that have been given to you by Facebook. So for the vertical ad, the whole ad has to be shown there. For the rectangular ads, the rectangular placement has to be covered. So we have 10 to 15 ad creatives just for a single ad set that we run. And that tells a lot in terms of the strategy that we implement. Talking back, let's say 2021, we used to be more heavy on the interest, on the audiences that we were targeting, on the demographics that we were targeting. So that has taken a backseat. It's still there, but it's more about the creative now. What story are we telling out? So that has changed in a big, big way.
So because in, let's say for Facebook in particular, Instagram, we have creative, copy, and headline.
Yes.
How would you personally prioritize the order from the most important to the least important based on your experience and what you've seen from markets around the world?
See, creative absolutely takes the top spot for me.
Yeah.
The hook takes the second spot for me again, because the hook is very important. That will actually hold the customer together. So that comes in your primary copy as well as in a video. So in creative, I mean the hook should also be included in that within the first 3-4 seconds that we say. So I think that way, creative, copy, and then headlines. I think that is my way to go in terms of the ads. But then again, we try a lot of things. Like even if we have 5 options available for description, 5 options available for primary text, we try and fill out all of those with different angles that we can get. Because as I said, Google, Facebook, they are way smarter than us. We just have to give them the assets and they can deliver to you like anything. But if you just give them one asset, one simple video, one simple ad copy, and that's why a lot of brands do not work very well. They do not get the results because they don't have a lot of options to give to these platforms.
That's true. So you kind of, I assume based on, let's say, your sharings as well, you're more leaning towards using dynamic ads, like let's say using the PMax, and also even for Facebook would be the dynamic creatives. Is that right for your case? Do you guys use those? Still more manual testing?
See, again, it depends on the life cycle of the brand. Which point is it at that point of time?
Right.
So there is a specific campaign structure that we use, which is called DABA. So DABA is dynamic ads for broad audiences.
Oh, okay.
So we are running different catalogs for a broader audiences, with different ad sets in it. So we're able to understand, okay, this is the catalog that is working well. This is the ad set that is working well. So we are able to figure out because of that. That is one framework that we can do. But then again, it's not an apple to apple thing, For some brands, which are problem solving brands, we are more inclined towards a more creative strategy. So dynamically, we are not going a lot into that. Dynamically, if you have an apparel brand, if you have like a watches brand, which is fairly easy to understand for the customers, dynamics work very well in that. But like the portfolio that we have, like the clients that we have, they are solving a problem. They are very different than the usual, what you get in the market. So you have to tell them how they are different, and there has to be a story around the creatives, So we cannot do that with the dynamic way. We have to create specific creatives, specific videos. Videos do very well. So we have to work around those things in a big way now. So dynamic does well, but then again, it would depend on the brand that we are catering to, the category, the audiences that we're catering to.
Right. And just for the fellow listeners out there, or most of the case when you're running ads, it's mostly 2 types. One is lead gen or lead generation, or what we call, and one is e-commerce. So these 2 are the main powerhouse within the paid ads. So I'm wondering, Sid, for your case, would you say the campaign structure would differ between lead gen and e-com as well? Like, for example, would e-com be more dynamic focused because there's not a lot to introduce? But for lead gen, where you are like sharing people that does consulting or all that, they have to give more value to let them visualize what it's like. Is that correct? Or
yeah, correct. Absolutely. So if you're talking about lead gen now, lead gen is more or less targeted towards giving out a service. And if you talk about conversion campaigns, they are more or less targeted towards e-commerce, let's say selling out a product. I mean, more or less, it can be a lead again, or it can be a service again that you're giving out in conversion campaigns. But the end goal of every campaign is very common. It's to make a customer, get a customer, So in the end, everything boils down to that. A lead campaign is fairly, I would say, at a nascent stage because that is not converted right now. You're getting a lead. The lead would eventually go onto your landing page, or you'll have to talk to them to convert them. So it is at a fairly nascent stage, as I would say, to a conversion campaign. to making a sale. So these primarily differ. It's fairly easy to get a lead because they're not paying out of their pockets. It's fairly difficult for you to get a sale because then eventually they'll be paying out. So these are the major things, and that's why I feel it's easier for us to get a lead rather than make a sale.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's always easier to ask people to submit a form, but
Yeah.
when it comes to taking money out of pocket,
No.
nope.
We have to wait. What more do you offer?
That's true. That's fair.
Yeah.
Because the reason why I asked this is I reckon that there will be some people who have questions such as, oh, if I run lead gen, does it mean that I don't need to run? I can do everything manually because I need to control the story. And that for ecom, there's not a lot of things. Let's say I'm selling a watch. There's not much thing I can say. If the features are similar, then do you think that's the case? Just using dynamic and all that.
So if you're talking about lead gen, if you're talking about the in lead forms, there's not a lot that we can offer. There's not a lot that we can say. We just have a single creative, a simple ad copy that we can play around with, If we are talking about lead gen where the people are landing on the homepage or a landing page and then they're looking at the whole structure of your landing page where there's a lot of CTAs, where there's a lot of social proof, where there's a use case that is happening. So in that way, lead gen is different, but like I said, it's more or less within the same bucket. I mean, every goal for both these campaigns is to get a customer, right? Lead gen can also be a conversion campaign for you if your button is tagged as a conversion, although it's a lead. So it would just depend on that. But Facebook is very smart, and I'll tell you how. Because if you ask Facebook to get you a lead, and if the button is tagged as a lead, it will get you a lead. If you tag two buttons, let's say on the same page, one is a lead and one is a purchase, right? If you have, let's say, two buttons on one landing page, one says a lead, one says purchase, and you are targeting for leads, you'll be getting more of leads. When you're targeting more of purchases, you're getting more of purchases. We ran a specific A/B test campaign for one of our clients where we were getting purchases at a very good scale, right? But we were also getting a lot of add to carts. So normally we see 4 to 5 add to carts per purchase for our e-commerce clients, So 4 to 5 add to carts would contribute to one purchase, right? In that case, we were getting, let's say, 6 to 7 add to carts for one purchase. So we thought, why not run an A/B test? And why not run a add to cart goal conversion campaign? Like we were running a purchase conversion campaign, we started an add to cart conversion goal campaign. Yeah. So Facebook is so smart that it gave us a lot of add to carts, and we had no purchases, absolutely no purchases. Wow. So we had around 150 add to carts, and I think 5 to 6 purchases. That's it. So
that's pretty low.
Yes, it's pretty low, and that's what I'm saying. So if you tell Facebook to get you leads, it's going to get you leads. If you tell Facebook to get you add to carts, it's going to get add to carts. So it's going to target the people that add to cart but don't purchase. It's going to, if you go for view content, it's going to show it to people who view the content but don't do anything else, which is a fact. And we have actually tried that and seen. So, whatever your goal is, just tell Facebook that. But then again, you'll have to see a lot of other factors on why the conversions are not happening. With the landing page, if the CTR is too low, if the people are not interested in the ads, if the CTR is low, that means you're targeting the wrong audience, or your offer isn't great enough, or your product isn't great enough.
Yeah, because they're not clicking through.
Yeah, because either of these things, right? If the CTR is great, but still you're not getting conversions, then there's a problem with the website. What is the bounce rate? If it's loading too slow, if the first fold is not relevant to the audience. So it is a whole journey, like I said initially. It has to be very smooth. Right. You'll have to understand what seems to be working, what seems to be not working,
Right, especially when it comes to the fact that we have to acknowledge that we can't have 100% attribution. We need to understand it's an entire customer journey. Online world, it's more complicated than offline.
Oh, absolutely, yes, absolutely. You're not able to deal with the buyers directly. You don't know what they're thinking, what they're offering, And exactly. Of course, you have to. I mean, we have tools like Clarity and all where you can see the customer journey, where they're clicking, and all. But that is to a certain level that you can understand the customer psychology. Other than that, you have to keep your eyes open to understand what is happening with the campaigns.
That's very interesting, and I agree with your fact that like when you ask Facebook to perform some action, they will give you whatever
Yeah.
you want. For
Mm-hmm.
me, I've gone through the example where I'm trying to run a help an e-com business to
Mm-hmm.
sell their product,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought add to cart's pretty cheap. Let's try add to cart objective since purchase are not getting a lot.
Yeah.
And what I told the client was, "Oh, don't worry, I can retarget them. It's fine." And then oh, I got like,
Then
let's
work.
say for I do purchase objective, I got like five purchase, and I do add to cart objective, I got like zero purchase. I was like, don't worry, I'll target them. But at the end, they're not buying at all.
Yeah, I mean
So
that's the persona of these people. Because Facebook knows
yeah,
about them. They don't buy, they go surf around, add to cart and do that. So Facebook is way smarter than us. I think however long we take, we're not able to beat that algorithm.
yeah, exactly. Also I heard a lot of marketers, especially more people who has higher budgets that have done a lot of large scale testing.
Mm-hmm.
They always have preached about the concept of incremental lift, where they like similar to your case, the branded ROAS, stop caring about one channel thinking that is gonna know exactly what that's getting all the credit. You should be able to look at it as a holistic point of view.
Correct.
I think it's similar to going back to the basics, essentially.
Yeah, absolutely.
Forcing us from being very tactic driven to more like strategy driven, I suppose.
Yeah.
So I think it's very good as well. We have dived in a little bit deep for those that are not too savvy on marketing. I'm sorry. And we will go back to a bit more general part. I think
let's go to basics now.
So let's talk about some common challenges. Can you share about what would be the common challenges when you're doing advertising in India?
So common challenges. I don't think there are a lot of challenges when you're dealing in India. I think it's a pretty good market if you're a brand, an upcoming brand, because the CPMs are not very high as compared to the Western countries. Because we are having clients in the other countries as well. The CPMs are sky high for that, especially in the Q4. So in that part, I think, yeah. So I think in that way, India is not a bad market to promote your products. But having said that, there's a lot of competition. So a lot of marketers are there, a lot of brands are there. Everybody, especially with the funded ones,
Oh, okay.
And recently, what has happened is, if you heard about the funding winter has come up, because of all the global recession and all coming up. A lot of funding has stopped in the last 6 months or so. So a lot of brands that were spending, left, right, and center have suddenly now put a stop to it. They're looking for more profitability rather than acquisition. So that is something that has changed, which is a good thing. But if I talk about 6 months back, they were spending anything and anywhere, without considering the results and anything. So that was something that was a problem, a challenge for us. But I don't see that happening in the next quarter. Like if you're talking about Q1, I don't see that happening now, because a lot of serious brands would be there. The quality of the ads has been significantly upped. The game has upped by the brands. And I think it's a pretty good time if you are a brand and if you want to, show yourself to the customers and the crowd. I think this is the right time to do that.
Right. I'm wondering, is there any media content consumption sort of preference as well within different age groups? I suppose they should be quite different, right?
Yeah.
How would that be like?
So we do a lot of testing in terms of our clients. We see, and I'm just talking about the Facebook platform right now.
Yeah. Facebook, yeah.
So if we talk about Facebook, I think the mid to older generation, let's say 38, 39 plus until 55 plus, 65 plus, is more focused on Facebook. With the Gen Z and the newer crop or the younger ones, they are more focused on Instagram. So let's say we have a product which is more, whose TG is, the younger crowd, then we focus more on Instagram, And if the TG is somewhere like older women or maybe let's say mid to old women, we focus more on Facebook. Having said that, feed as a placement, the Facebook feed, Instagram feed, stories do well for us. And I think they do well for a lot of clients as well. Reels, for that matter, are something which are having incredibly low CPM, and I am pretty sure not a lot of people know about this
Yeah, it's pretty new.
because, yeah, it's pretty new. And if you are having a CPM of, let's say, $5 for the feed placement, uh, for yeah, I mean, for $5 in the feed placement, I think for the Reels placement, it's somewhere around $0.5. It's like
What?
10
That's so
to
cheap.
20%. Yes. So that is a hack that I'm telling you. Instagram Reels have incredibly low CPM, especially in India. And a lot of people are not targeting that. So we have specific campaigns running just for Instagram Reels because of the low CPM we get there. Of course, the CTR is low again because a lot of people are just scrolling through the
Yeah, that's
Reels.
my opinion.
That is
That's my
bound to happen.
opinion.
But then, yeah. But then we get that into account and still we get good results because the CPM is way low and nobody is just specifically, pushing out ads on that. And another reason is because a lot of people run automatic placements ads, which is the right way to do. But
Yeah.
Facebook would just, push out more budget towards the serious buyers who are clicking, and that happens a lot in stories or let's say feed. So eventually, whenever you see your budget split on Facebook, it would go more towards feed and story. Reels would more or less not get a lot of budgets. But when you push out your ads just on Reels, specific placement, you'll get incredibly low CPMs there because people are not advertising there.
Oh, that's an amazing hack for other fellow marketers in India as well. If you're looking to capitalize on even lower CPMs and
Yeah,
confident that you can create TikTok like videos that
yeah.
works really well,
Mhm.
why not go Reels? Go Reels, go home, man.
Yeah, I think that's an upcoming trend that is coming up now. The TikTok style videos. I think
Right. It's coming to India as well, is that correct?
yes, but it's still a very untapped place, I'd say, in India, and it has huge potential. I mean, I see the trends that are running on TikTok, and
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it would work in India as well. But not a lot of marketers are doing that right now.
Right. So would you say a lot of marketers are still stuck in a traditional way of just creating
Yeah.
static images and just using automatic placements,
Yeah,
letting
yeah. I
them do
mean,
whatever they want?
it's fine to use automatic placements as well till the time you are analyzing everything. If you're analyzing everything, like let's say if I am getting conversions, out of that, because let's say I'll give you another example. So
Yep.
we had one of these campaigns with our clients, which was running on automatic placements, right? And it suddenly stopped getting conversions in a week or so. So when we structured that down within the placements, we saw that 80% of our budget was going into video feed, like
Right.
the videos that run on Facebook,
Yeah. The
which,
automatic one just keeps going on as well, the
yeah,
watch
yeah, yeah,
section.
or in-stream videos. Sorry, that was in-stream videos. So the ones that come in between your videos, the ads.
Oh, okay. Okay,
So,
got you.
and they have a very high CTR as well because people try to, forward that or just click on that.
Yeah.
They try to do that because they're just seeing a video, they don't want to be disturbed. Although they have no intention of buying from that ad, but they click on that. So that eventually gives a high CTR. And that is something which was a problem for us because we knew we aren't getting any sales from that, but 80% of our ad set budget is going into in-stream video ads, you
So it's a
know.
waste.
It is a total
It is.
waste, and that's what I'm saying. Automatic placements are good enough till the time you're analyzing your placements. Like what happened in our case. If we would have seen that, it would have just gone on to spend, and eventually we'll have to stop the campaign. So these things are eventually that need to be catered into, and that's what performance marketing is all about, to analyze every point of where the budget is going. Why is it not working? What should work and on. Yeah.
That's fair. So it was good to say that consumer psychology at the end, it still boils down to that. Like the interaction with different placements are different. Like as you said, Reels, they are swiping everything.
Yeah.
So the intent is definitely low. They're not spending time to
Correct.
look at it. If
Yeah.
your book is poor, goodbye, sayonara. not gonna see you again. But if you look at like the entry videos, I mean, they try to skip everything. If you think, oh man, spending so much, it must be getting good result. Nah, if you think about it,
No, but that's the problem
sometimes,
where sometimes Facebook takes a backseat, their AI is not able to figure out. I mean, they are seeing 3%, 4% CTR on the in-stream video ads. I mean, for them, it's a high CTR. People are interested, but
it's a
in
good sign.
reality, no, it's not, So that is a whole different psychology altogether that comes into play again. So
Right.
yeah, I
I would
mean,
say that's good. It's good. It's good to have that conversation as well to understand the different behaviors. And as to make it more simpler, normally for advertiser, when we are doing a placement, we should ask ourselves what is our behavior and simply observe our own. Mm-hmm. Then from there, we should really have a good, better understanding of how each placement works. Is that correct?
Yes, that is absolutely correct. And there's another variation to it that we do. So we try to place our ads for some of our clients. We try to place our ads manually just in the feed and stories section, right? We don't want to go into messengers or Instagram, let's say reels initially. We just want to focus on the serious placements that we have where people click whenever they're interested in, right? And then we retarget them with the automatic placement one.
Right.
Because once people know the brand, once people know about you or your brand, and then they see that anywhere else, okay, they are, able to relate to that. Like if I saw your brand in the feed, I clicked on that, and then I see that on, let's say, on the side placement, on the right-hand placement. It makes sense for me to go on that again because I know about the brand. If I see that in the in-stream video, then it makes sense for me to go to that video go to that page because, I know about the brand. But to make people aware, I think that's something that we need to be very careful about. And I think to, let's say, filter them down into a more warm audience, feeds and stories do really well because that is where the genuineness of a click comes out in play rather than any other placement.
It's more of the bang on the buck, how you would say.
Yeah.
I see. So would you say that based on your sharings, like reels and let's say videos would be good as for cold audiences, like to let them know who we are. Then after that, you retarget them to say, okay, then I'm going through feed, like, hey, do you know who we are? Buy us now. Something like that. Is that correct?
Yes, videos do well for us. I think it's a proper funnel strategy that would come into place again. And as you said, going back to basics is the basic thing. Going old school, like the awareness, reach, that should not be the goal of the campaigns, but the psychology of your ad should be that, like you're telling out about the brand information, you're introducing your brand in the first ad. Then you're trying, maybe down the funnel, you're creating that social proof of showing people using your brand because now the person knows about the brand. They know the use case of that. You're showing people using that brand, which builds a lot of authority in the market. And then eventually in the bottom of the funnel, like if you're talking about funnel for the users, top of the funnel is where the people are cold audience, they're not aware about the brand. You make them aware, then you build that social authority, social proof about that, and then you push out an offer. There is no simpler strategy than this. I think you can work around that. You can play around different angles, but eventually everything boils down to this.
It's still those 3 steps.
Yes,
basically.
Just simple 3 steps. That's it.
Right. And, when we are running ads as well, like a lot of people just say, just focus on conversions and just lead gen mostly. Would you agree with that? Or have you ever tried out the other objectives and see success for your case, like the reach, awareness?
See, we've tried that. I won't lie that we haven't tried that. But again, it's something that depends on the brand life cycle, where the brand is at that point of time. Let's say if you're targeting a very premium brand, we have to just target these premium locations. If I just pinpoint on a particular location and tell Facebook to target on this, the CPMs would be sky high. They would skyrocket. I am not too sure about the CTRs that we'll get there. So in this case, it would be important for me to run traffic ads or awareness ads or reach ads, just to make people aware about that market at that particular point. If I'm targeting the whole of India, if I'm targeting the whole country, if I'm targeting whole UK, then it makes sense for me to get conversion because I'm getting a large pool. I'm giving out a large pool to Facebook to filter out the people. The CPMs are low, the CTRs, even if low, I can do with that because the conversion is the ultimate goal. But if I'm giving a very small pool to Facebook, the CPM would eventually shoot up. And then the conversion in the first go, there's a very low chance of that. So, as we said, the funnel structure. So it would depend again. If you're targeting a big market, go for the convergence campaign. If you're very narrowly targeting, I think it's very important that you put out your brand first and then push out the conversions for the same market.
Right. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Because I do chat with Facebook marketing representatives, and they're all saying like, "Oh, if your market pool is really small and running conversion is like going for the top 3%, why not
Mm.
go to the bottom
Mm.
when there were absolute coders like awareness and traffic?
Yeah.
If your content, the contingent is if your content is good, you run that, they should be able to engage with it. But if your
Absolutely.
content is bad, no, don't bother. Just run conversions.
No, we've
Because you know
seen
that.
conversions or sales coming through reach or traffic campaign as well, although not as the same at the same maybe conversion rate than a
Yeah.
proper purchase campaign. But that eventually happens, but then it's again, what story are you trying to tell out with your brand? If it's more about the brand introduction, if it's more about the brand mission that you're telling out in the ads, purchase campaign won't do a lot.
Yeah.
So in that way, if your creative is telling out a story about the brand, it's better if you show out that in a traffic or an awareness ad. That makes more sense.
Right. That's true. That's true.
Mhm.
That is a great explanation and deep dive into some different objectives as well. Because even me myself, I'm even confused sometimes to say that why do Facebook even bother sharing us those objectives? I think those only apply for big brands. I don't think I can do that. I don't even have the cash flow for me to afford to get the long haul, build the audience.
No, I mean it depends. See, if you are, let's say if you're an NGO, if you're in a social
Yeah.
organization, you're not concerned about the purchases. You're more concerned about
True.
the people coming on the website. You're more concerned about reaching out to the maximum people. So, I mean, the goals, objectives work out for them in that way. If it's about making money, if it's about getting a sale, I think conversions, nothing better than conversions for that. You should not
True.
go for any other options in that way.
Right.
Yeah.
And speaking of this, I'm wondering, is there any sort of festivals or any similar like shopping festivals that we should pay attention if we were to advertise in India? For example, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, are they very
No,
thing in India?
and no, nobody
How is
knows
it?
about that. Now then, regular customers don't know about Cyber Monday, Black Friday. Uh, but yeah, I mean, so festivals are a big part in India. Even today,
Yep.
we have Dussehra here. We are celebrating Dussehra here, and that's why we're not working. Uh, this starts around August. So August is when the festive season starts for India. It goes on to somewhere around Feb, Jan and Feb.
Oh,
Yeah. So that is when the festive season is there because Diwali is very big in India. So that happens somewhere around October, November. And then we have New Year's. Jan is I mean, it's the start of the year, so we have a lot of sales coming then. Feb is more like, the Valentine's and all weeks. So till Feb, it's more or less good. The slow periods is somewhere around April, May, June. That's it. That's when
right.
everything happens. Yeah.
Oh, okay, so almost half of the year was contributed to its festivals and celebrations
Yeah,
and all
yeah,
that.
yeah. But the major chunk of it is somewhere in the again quarter 4, October, November, December.
Okay,
That's it. Yeah, yeah.
fair
That's
enough.
the same. Yeah.
Would Christmas still be a big thing in India as well, or it's
It is. It has started to
all right?
come up. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are more interested in Diwali, and that is
Yeah.
like the gifting season. Everything. I mean, you have a lot of offers running on the marketplaces. The sentiment is very high in terms of buying, but that carries on. That carries on till New Year's at least. So it's a pretty good
Oh,
time to sell out stuff.
right. And in fact, since we're talking about this sort of consumer behaviors and all that, I'd like to throw you a question. So, would you say, based on observation towards marketing in India, for the audience, are they more receptive towards free gifts or discounts? I think that's something that all the marketers have been trying to figure out. I'm wondering, what is your opinion on this?
Ah, so I feel they're more inclined towards discounts. That's what we have
Mhm.
experienced. Um, they don't really get excited with the free gifts now.
Oh,
I think with
interesting.
all the options that have come up, uh, like it again depends on the industry that we're working with. Let's say for skincare industry in our D2C market, skincare is
Yep.
something which is very heavy on offers all around the year. So buy one get one is like a very common offer around the year for these brands. So
Yeah.
it's slowly getting to a stage where the offers are not really exciting people in a
Like,
big
oh, it's
way.
all right. I'm used to it.
Yeah. So that's something where there's an abundance of offers, where there's an abundance of products, of brands, So there's a problem of too many right now that we're seeing. But yeah, I mean, considering that, again, it would depend on the niche or the category that we're targeting. If we talk about skincare, I think free ones do well. If we're targeting another category, let's say home decor or let's say apparels, I think discounts work very well. Because if somebody is buying a particular dress, let's say, they won't be interested in a t-shirt that you're giving out for free, but they would be requiring a certain offer on top of that. So it would depend, yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. For your case, personally, for your agency, what would you say is the proportion of the industries you are actually working with?
It's very diverse. So we have clients from apparels, we have clients from FMCG, we have clients from skincare, we have clients from. We also do lead gen for a couple of our clients, Your Story and all, Intel. So lead gen is something else. Conversion, I think it's more or less pretty diverse. Like as I said, the brands that we have, they are not easy uh,
Yeah.
to sell because of the USPs that we have. So, and they're quite different, than the other brands in terms of the USPs and the projections that we have to, in the way we have to project to the market, basically. So it just varies. But coming into D2C, I think FMCG, fashion, accessories, that's a chunk of it right now that we have. Yeah.
Right. Fashion accessory. Yeah, makes sense, makes sense. Fashion
Hmm.
is indeed a
Yeah, I mean,
ever-growing market.
yeah,
People's
there's
tastes are always different.
abundance of it. Even skincare, I think we have
Mm.
a handful of skincare clients as well. Skincare is something that is really booming in India, especially in the last year or so. It is really, everybody has come into us. Everybody has their own skincare regime now, which wasn't the case earlier. Yes, that is something which has really gone big in the last couple of years or so.
I assume even men's skincare is also
Oh
taking
yes, men's
like
grooming,
part of it.
beard care, and everything. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So we have this one client of ours who is specifically catering to men for their beards, which is doing
Oh,
amazingly well. Yeah, beard and hair. So I mean, it's doing amazingly well.
right. So what would you say is the most interesting niche you have ever worked with in India itself?
See, niches are something which is very broad for us, but
Yeah.
there are specific brands that we work with which have taken us by surprise, and
Ooh.
we didn't think that these would work, but they have had amazing responses, and the customer base that they've built is pretty loyal. So that is something which really came as a shock to us, within the first 2 months itself, and that's when we saw the landscape was changing,
Oh.
within the industry or the market, because people are actually looking out for different products. People are actually looking out for something that offers a solution and which is, something different than what is being shown in the market. So
Right.
that is something which is coming up, and a lot of experiments are happening now in the industry.
What would you be able to share with us? What sort of industry or product is that took you by surprise?
Uh, so let's say, I mean, there's this
Just in
specific,
general.
yeah, yeah, there's this
Yeah.
specific brand which is catering to, let's say, a very minute number of population in India, let's say to a specific religion, you know,
Okay.
a very specific religion, and then in itself it's just targeting one gender, So we didn't think that it was a very big market, but
Wow.
the repeat purchase is somewhere around 50 to 60% for that brand.
Was
Uh,
it like some religion items that they were selling, or?
and not a lot of items, maybe a catalog of 50 items, let's say. That's it.
Oh, I see.
But that has really taken us by surprise, and something that we thought would be difficult to target. Uh, but then again, once you acquire the customers for them, the LTV, I mean, the lifetime value of the customer is very high because the repeat purchase is tremendous for them. The AOV, average order value, is amazing. So let's say it's somewhere, considering the products that they have, people buy a lot of these things and they buy at very regular intervals, So AOV is also very good for them. The lifetime value is very good. Repeat is very high. So I think this is one brand which was targeting a very narrow audience within India, but it still
Yep.
did very well because of the presence, because of the branding that was done around that, because of the targeting maybe that we did. It worked out very well in the end.
Right. Would you say it's because of a lack of competition as well, given that people might thought, oh, it's a small pool,
Yeah.
not bothered, and they just went straight like, oh,
Exactly. On point. Yeah, that's it. Because we don't have a lot of competition in that. There is not a single competitor that I've seen around that brand. So that is something which came out as I said again, something new, something different for people. They haven't tried this as well. They haven't seen anything like this earlier. So the curiosity or the intrigue to try those things and then hang on to these things is a win. Because a sale is not a win for you. When you get a repeat buy, that is a win for you, because the customers are coming back. That is what eventually makes a brand. And having 50-60% repeat ratio is a big thing. And having the volumes to do that as well.
oh, that's
So,
crazy, man. Like, so
yeah.
much
Because we
repeat.
have a lot of successful brands with us who are doing amazing numbers, who are giving out like 15, 20, 25x returns. But these are generic brands again. These are some brands that people have seen and they are maybe selling out on the style quotient or maybe on the price quotient. But this is one brand that is selling out on its the core of it. The core itself is very different from the ones that we see in the market.
Right. That's very interesting as well to
Yeah.
see that how niche that you have actually worked with as a
Yeah.
client. I'm wondering what sort of advice would you give to people that were running or trying to do marketing, a freelancer agency?
Mhm.
What sort of budget would you recommend them to start off with? Like when it comes to working with clients, like what's the minimum threshold you would say in India itself, given that it has low CPM and all that?
See, again, initially, if you have to start anywhere between $1,200 to $1,500 is a must right now in India.
1,500. Oh, okay.
Yeah, per
So
month.
1,000 around 1,500, right? Okay.
Yeah,
US dollars or
US dollars, yes.
wow.
I'm talking about,
that's
let's say, yeah, $1,200 is a must because, eventually, if you have to go the right way and if you have to have answers, like I can start with $500 as well. But then eventually I would need more time to understand what the numbers are. I might not be able to run a lot of campaigns in that. I might be able to not test a lot of things in that. So if you have to, let's say, get an answer within the next 40, 45 days, I think 1,200, 1,500 is the right budget to go ahead with in India. Because in that, you'll be able to test out different audiences. You can test out different creative angles. You can retarget people. If the impressions are not too high, you can run a traffic ad, let's say, just for, worst case scenario. So everything considered, I think, what does it count to? Like $40 per day? I think that is a must for that. Yeah.
Right, I see. That's good as well, and it's good that you also shared, like sort of what to expect, because maybe previously before the pandemic, people would think, oh, it's gonna be cheap. I don't need that much money, but after pandemic, boom.
No, but then again, I mean, it's very important. Like as I said, I can run ads for $500, but the results will take time. It might take 2 months, 75 days to understand how the numbers. Either you can get in more money and lower the time, or you can push in more time and lower the money. So
It's a trade-off.
it's a trade-off, yes. So it's a give and take. Like whatever you want to do, we can do that.
Right, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very good that we have touched on the topics. Could we go as deep as the campaign strategies, or placements, or even as broad as how is the market overall? It's like sentiments and all that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering what would be the number one advice you will give to a fellow listeners out there if they want to start their own performance marketing agency in India?
Okay. So I'll be raising my own competition now.
Yeah.
But I think it's a very simple saying that I have, and this is something that I abide by. So keep your clients close, but your team closer, because eventually it's the team that's going to make or break your brand. And I am very fortunate to have an amazing team that I work with. and they take the ownership of these brands. And I think the ultimate goal or the basic principle of every agency should be to be communicative. To have the work ethic, because I always tell to my team that results are something that is not in our hands. Because we might be having great results, we might not be having great results with some of our campaigns, but eventually what matters is the effort that we put in. How communicative are we with the clients? Even if they are talking to us or messaging us late night, we're there for them. So I think that is our USP, and that is why we are, I think we are where we are right now, because the clients that we have been with us for a long period of time, and it's all because of the work ethic of our team, and actually because of the team that we have, because that's what makes it a great thing. You cannot do everything by yourself. That's the only thing. So have a great team, and eventually plan the frameworks, plan the SOPs, plan the system. Everything is going to be in place if the team is the right fit for you. If the team isn't right, I think there's no way to go. Then it's something that can never be worked out.
Right. It's good to hear that. Like always, at the end, it's always the team that is going to make or break as well.
Yeah,
Like
absolutely,
I
absolutely.
a lot of people think it's a one man band, like everybody like, oh man, I just need a laptop, I can work anywhere I want. But I think the game has changed. We need a creative,
It is.
strategy.
Now, exactly. Like, let's say we have around 25, 30 clients with us. I cannot cater to all of them. It's simply impossible for me. What's going to happen is I'm going to burn out or I'm going to leave the agency business. These are the only two options that I'll be having. So,
True.
I mean, and I'm very fortunate to have this team, because eventually they are the ones who do the heavy lifting. Again, I am more in charge of the business development and the incoming of more business, and then they cater to that whatever systems are built on, and their proper frameworks that they work around with. So I think that's a long term thing that everybody needs to focus on. Initially, it's okay that you work out for free, just to build out your reputation, just to build out some case studies to work around with. But then once you are at a certain stage, hire more people, reinvest in your business, and then hire the right people again.
Right, that's true. Got you. Because some people might go, oh, we can automate everything, and who needs a team, man?
See, agency is something which will, especially in India, I think we're working with a lot of international clients as well. In India, the clients need to have your presence with their brand. They have to be in touch with you like thrice a week. They have to give you a call. So that is very important for them, which eventually helps us as well. I wouldn't lie, but then it eventually makes their brand our babies as well. Because we have invested so much into their brands, so that eventually happens, and that's why we end up doing great for them, or pushing out over our limits for them.
Right, it's good to hear as well. And I'm wondering if you have to think back, what would you say is the greatest mistake you have made when you are running the agency itself? What's the worst that you have done?
Again, I think the worst thing to do would be to not put all your eggs in one basket. I think that's something that I haven't done, but that I've seen a lot of people do. And that is something that you should not be doing in an agency. Having a couple of clients and just fully relying on that. Your business is running as long as you've got the leads coming inbound for you. So when that stops, you're eventually gonna die out. I mean, the business is gonna die out. That is something that is bound to happen. Customers or clients won't last forever. So it's very important that you don't rely on a couple of clients and take them long term and not hunt for more clients. So that's something that I've seen has happened with a lot of other agency owners, which is a problem, and that's something that I would advise you to not put all your eggs in one basket. Yeah.
All right, that's some good advice as well. Well, I think we have been having a really great conversation. Is there anything you'd like to add on, Sid?
No, I think you're doing a great job, Yee, and had a lovely time coming here. I got to relive all my past experiences with you and talking about those things. I think it actually, and I hope it helps out. I hope it helps out the fellow marketers as well.
Yeah, of course. I think it will absolutely help, especially to people like me who have no knowledge at all in the Indian market, coming in, be like, whoa, that's a lot of knowledge. So I think it's absolute pleasure to have you on, Sid. So thank you everyone for listening. This is the end of our second episode, and tune in next time. I'll be interviewing more marketers, and see you next time.
See you. Bye.